Alright, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the automotive space today because I'm tired of working every day. I want to go straight to the moon. Alright?
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
Diving into the automotive space.
what
EVs are hot.
What EV stocks should we be looking at?
Okay.
They're going to take us to the freaking moon.
Okay, but before we get to the EV stocks, we have to talk a little bit about the guys who occupy the current space.
Okay.
Some of the people who are going to be losing out on the gains as we go along. All right. So the biggest loser also happens to be the biggest company, Toyota. I don't know what they're doing. They don't have EVs.
They don't have a single EV.
They have a Prius out. They have a Prime out, the RAV4 Prime, but they have no pure EVs. I don't get it.
They're dead.
So they're dead to me because I don't want to drive any of this stuff in the future. You know, my next car, I don't want it to be a hybrid that can like not do anything. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from Toyota because we don't want to dwell too long on that. Because we don't want to be losers either. They were leading, sadly.
In what? In EVs?
In EVs. At one point, they were leading. They are definitely not anymore.
Why?
Do you want to take a guess how many EVs they delivered last quarter in the last 3 months?
Well, I don't even know what EVs they have.
Okay, the Bolt, the Bolt EUV. So the two similarly named things, and then the GM, the Hummer EV.
Didn't they sell a lot of the Bolt?
They did,
like
but
30,000.
they failed. So they failed last quarter because they only delivered 26.
26?
Yeah. Battery fires.
Oh, right.
So they were busy with the recall. So they have all these cars to repair. They have these stickers that Chevy Bolt owners are going to get that say that it's Chevy certified, so that garage owners will let them park in their garage in cities and stuff.
That's a terrible look.
Yeah. So they're going to be driving up to these garages and be like, look, I have the certified sticker because my car got repaired. That's sad.
Terrible.
Yeah. So they probably need to discontinue the Bolt if they want to go anywhere from here. Okay.
But 26.
26, yeah.
Out of how many models do they have?
Three.
26.
Yeah, and all of those were Bolts except for one Hummer EV.
Wow.
Yeah, sad.
That's pathetic.
Okay. GM has some things that are coming down the pipeline that might help them in the future, such as the Bright Drop van that Walmart's ordering and FedEx is ordering, 250-mile range. But that's the commercial space.
When is that coming?
They're delivering them now. They're already delivering those. So
that's not bad.
They just started. Yeah. But this means that their stock is not going to fly this year. They're going to be kind of stuck because they don't have anything out now.
Might even go down if they have battery fires in the other cars.
At least those won't be parked in garages
because
they'll be out delivering stuff. You'll see them burning on the side of the road. Hopefully not. Okay, hopefully not. Chevy Silverado EV, they just announced it, but they won't deliver that until 2023. So GM is out of the picture. We're not.
They're going nowhere. Yeah, they're not taking me anywhere.
Not interested in their stock. Not at least not now. We'll see what happens next year. Okay, so traditional car makers, big guys here. Ford. All right, so Ford F-150 Lightning production target. They're increased that from 80,000 to 150,000. So that's good news for Ford.
For this year.
For this year,
2022.
2022.
How many did they didn't deliver last year though?
None. No. It's a 2022 model.
Yeah.
So they're going to deliver those this year, anyways. But they increase the production target. Traditional car makers, they don't just make things up. All right, we know who we're talking about.
Tesla.
Yeah, but so they're going to hit that target.
Yeah.
And they're going to sell every single one of these.
They're already booked.
Solid.
Booked
solid. They stopped taking reservations at one point. So Ford, I think, is a better bet versus GM if you're in this traditional car maker space. But I do have problems with Ford too. Okay. So there's a reason why I'm not buying Ford stock right now. And that would be it's hedging against itself. Why? Because it owns Rivian. why I don't understand why an automaker would go and invest in essentially a competitor. They're making trucks too. Rivian's claim to fame is an electric truck.
Isn't Rivian doing good though?
We're gonna get to Rivian in just a second. The news came out yesterday, today. Not good news for Rivian. The last thing is Ford Transit EV, only a 126-mile range on a delivery vehicle. Desperately needs an update. So
What is that? That's
it's like the van that
van.
Amazon is buying, and the vans that you see that are running around carrying the Amazon stuff right now.
126 miles.
So if that was the EV version, Amazon's not getting your stuff to you. So that's why they're not ordering that.
That's terrible.
So we're gonna move on because Ford is not. Okay,
Not
so
going anywhere either.
We're gonna talk about the EV stocks now. Let's start with Rivian, the one with the big-ish news the last 2 days.
What happened?
Amazon's ordering a van from Stellantis, which is the owner of Dodge Ram, and Chrysler. They're ordering an EV van, the Ram ProMaster from Stellantis. That is bad news for
Ouch.
Rivian. Yeah.
I mean, Rivian doesn't even have anything to sell Amazon.
There's a
anyway.
few. They have a few. They're running in California.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's not like they don't have anything. They're running a few of them. But the problem is that that's proof that Amazon is willing to order a van from anyone who can deliver it.
Okay.
Because they're in a rush.
Yeah.
They're one-day deliveries. They want their stuff one-day deliveries. I remember there was even a tweet from Jeff Bezos at Rivian saying, "Where are my trucks?" So
Ouch.
bad news, especially because Amazon has over 2/3 of the orders from Rivian. So 100K out of the 140,000 orders.
So if they drop all those orders,
Trouble.
Rivian is screwed.
Big trouble. Yeah. Especially because their stock is basically priced to perfection. Because basically, I mean, priced to
What does that
perfection,
mean?
as in if you don't hit any of your targets, you're falling because the investors are expecting you to hit. So
Right.
if you miss, you're dead. So that's a problem. And also, what if Rivian becomes Ford's ex-girlfriend?
What does that mean?
Ford
Ford drops out of Rivian.
Ford holds Rivian stock. So if Ford is like, we can do this on our own, I don't need your stock.
I
Get out of
honestly
here.
think they will because they have no product,
Yeah. Yeah.
no mass producible product.
They already kind of dropped them. Remember the news?
Yeah, they
They're
stopped collaborating.
Yeah. So,
They're like one straw away from dead in the water.
yeah. From sending a text message, be like, sorry, this is over.
They had Amazon on board, they had Ford on board, and they had investors on board. They
Yeah.
lost Ford.
Yeah.
They're losing Amazon.
Yeah.
They're about to lose their investors.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
about to get wrecked.
So they actually dipped below their IPO price briefly today.
Briefly,
I think they didn't close. I think they closed above it, but they briefly dipped below $78 today, intraday.
but what was their peak?
$180.
Yeah,
So-
that's really scary.
So hearts are already breaking.
Yeah.
Okay, so before anyone else hearts get broken on that, let's move on to the next one. The next one we have to talk about SPAC first,
Which is what?
which is a special acquisition company. So Lucid, as you know, is SPAC'd. I'm going to read you a little bit of legal jargon.
Oh man.
Maybe break this down. Okay, so this is from Lucid, okay? Pursuant to the investor rights agreement, the sponsor lock-up period. Got a headache yet?
What does that mean?
Okay, so that means the original owners of Lucid, they cannot sell the stock for 180 days after the close of the merger.
Okay.
So that also means the lockup period is ending on the 19th.
Shoot.
So that means these original owners of Lucid are now able to sell their shares on the 19th
What about
of
the
January.
dump?
Well, okay, we don't know that they're gonna. Okay, and
Probably-
you don't
they
know.
probably
How,
won't.
okay, well, all right. I'm gonna give you the case as to why they might.
Why?
Because one of the major shareholders in this percentage that was locked up, 73.5% of the shares of Lucid are locked up. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So 63% of the total shares of Lucid is owned by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which is a fund that basically invests money to grow, because they give out free money in Saudi Arabia. So they need to grow their money in order to give out this free money.
So they want to cash in.
They're going to cash in, yeah, because they initially invested $2.9 billion in 2018. And that's now worth $39 billion. So it's payday. I think it's payday.
They need it too. Their gas not doing so great.
Yeah. Because you know what's going to happen? Is they're going to call up the CEO of Lucid and say, how many cars did you deliver last year?
How many did they deliver?
They were targeting 520.
520
520
cars.
I don't think so. Even if they hit it, Lucid stock is priced for perfection as well.
Cue the guy on YouTube counting the cars
Oh,
on
boy.
their lots. That
Okay,
guy's desperate.
Wow.
He
I mean-
needed the cars.
I don't know. I don't know. But either way, I think if they miss, that's going to be trouble because their stock is priced for definite hit. And then plus, even if they meet the expectations, let's say they delivered their 520 cars, their target is 20,000 cars this year. And
2022.
yeah, 2022, their target is 20,000 vehicles. And as Elon Musk put it very nicely, production is hell. So we'll see. I don't know that they'll hit this year, even if they hit last year. So it being a stock that's priced to perfection, I'm not interested in Lucid. Like,
It's
there's
too
potential,
scary.
right? There's potential for it to be $100 in the future if they hit all of their targets. But I don't want to have a heart attack every single time they're announcing numbers. So I'm not interested.
Yeah. To go from $30 to $100. What you're saying?
To go from $40, they're at
$40.
$40 to $100. I don't need that heart attack to go from that to that in a 5-year period.
Okay.
You know, if they even can go there. So not interested in Lucid. All right, so our next SPAC buddies here, Polestar. We've talked a lot about Polestar. So today I had to look up the lockup period for Polestar. 180-day lockup period on 94.2% of the shares.
This is even more.
Even more of the shares are locked up for 180 days.
Same. It's the same.
Essentially the same thing. I can read it too. Subject to the Lisco covered share during the lockup period.
Man. These lawyers just copy and paste the thesaurus sometimes.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Well, I take this to mean I'm not a lawyer. Law stuff confuses the heck out of me. I take this to mean that the shares owned by Geely and Volvo and anyone who's invested in the company prior to the merger can't be sold. And that includes
For 180 days.
for 180 days. 94.2% of the shares.
This is 180 days for Lucid? too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's coming right around the corner. So
So that is the period. The 180 days was when the stock's
merge.
price surged up for Lucid. Then
180 days ago they merged and then it popped to $60 or so dollars. And then, anyways, but so only 5.8% of the shares in Polestar will be available to trade in the first 180 days, which is basically the stuff owned by GGPI owners. So that part you'll be able to trade. So you might see this also as a very bad thing, right? Because 94.2% of shares could be dumped 180 days later.
yeah,
Right. I don't actually view it as a negative because Geely and Volvo, they're automakers. So they're unlike Saudi Arabia's public investment fund.
oh yeah,
Because the public investment fund is out to make money. They're not out to make cars. Geely and Volvo, they're out to make cars. They want to control a certain percentage of the market as much as they can if they want, if they could. So the two of them combined together are going to try to leverage this in ways that Saudi Arabia's public investment fund is not going to try to leverage Lucid to make cars. I think the goals are just fundamentally different. I think Geely and Volvo will end up selling shares, depending on how high it goes. But I don't think they're going to just dump
it. Yeah.
They want to retain ownership of the company.
94% is a lot. I'm sure they'll sell some.
Yeah.
To raise money. Yeah. To raise more money.
To fund the operations.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it could increase the price of the stock too, just having higher volume of trade.
It could, yeah. Allow more people to buy in. But I think the key part for us, holding GGPI shares or anyone who's interested in buying GGPI, is that there's going to be very few shares available. So if people want this stock, they're going to have to pay to get this stock.
After the merger. Okay.
Because very few shares are tradable.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, people will have an awareness of this stock.
Yeah.
People will be talking about it. And I think Polestar is a good buy. And why people might want to get in is because of all of these following reasons, right? So they have a factory in Charleston, actually Ridgeville, South Carolina, which is a Volvo factory that's going to be building their cars for them here in the US. Polestar 3.
Made
SUV.
In the US?
Made in the USA. SUV. Key part here. SUVs. SUVs sell very well. So a very important part. And it's also probably going to have upwards of 300-mile range.
That'd be really nice.
Because it's built on Geely's platform. And that we know has a 370-mile range.
If it has 370, that'll be really nice.
Crushes the market.
Yeah.
No one comes close.
Yeah.
So, on SUVs at least, there are longer range sedans, but the Polestar 3 is going to be a nice car,
but everyone can get 370 eventually, right? That's 1 year.
Well, depending on whose batteries you use, right? GM is using these flat batteries that are somewhat more difficult to manufacture and sticking them in rows.
But I mean, there's nothing else that's gonna make it stand out. The Polestar.
No.
What?
They're also going to have their version of autopilot called unsupervised highway driving pilot.
Really? How?
So they have a partnership with the LiDAR company.
Oh.
So they're going to deliver that on the Polestar 3. So that vehicle is going to have this.
Okay, then it's on par with a Tesla.
We're going there, yeah. Yeah, so we're starting to look better and better and better, right? I'm going to give you one other piece of news that makes it look even better. Volvo just started testing full self-driving in California on their cars. Volvo is one of the parent companies. So, and Volvo, they share technology a lot. So
I thought Tesla was the only one that had enough data to do this.
Well, they're going to gather the data. So they're all trying to gather data. And plus with LiDAR, maybe, I'm not too familiar with this, but maybe it doesn't need as much data because of how that works. Because photo recognition, you need a lot of data to be able to recognize, that's a truck, and that's a car, that's a person with a dog or whatever, a bicycle on the side. So that's how Tesla is doing it. But LiDAR is just like mapping everything. Quickly laser mapping everything. So maybe they'll be able to come out quickly. And plus, remember when we test drove the Polestar 2, it was reading the speed limit signs.
Yeah.
So we have stuff here.
Wow.
Okay. And then Polestar 4, 2023, Polestar 5, 2024. I believe they will hit their targets. They're owned by traditional car makers. They're going to make this happen. It's not going to be like Cybertruck, unfortunately.
Delayed after delay.
Yeah. And so they also have a very low valuation at this point, about $20 to $21 billion. And they have aggressive targets, 65,000 vehicles to be sold this year, 2022, 124,000 next year, 2023, 2024, 225,000 vehicles. 2025, 290,000 vehicles.
Do you think they hit 2021 target though?
I don't know. Their target was 29,000 vehicles. It seems like if you include the ones that we know about for sure, the ones sold in Europe and I think Asia, they're only short about 8,000 vehicles right now. So we don't know US delivery numbers yet.
Well, they beat Lucid numbers, right?
And they're only $20 billion market cap.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So why not? Yeah, so they definitely beat Lucid. If we're looking at delivery numbers purely, I don't know why you would not buy Polestar if you're into Lucid.
So
we mentioned the Cybertruck, and this is my last buy of the year, I think.
So you say it's a buy on Polestar?
Oh, for sure.
Or the spec?
We're going to the moon.
We're going to the moon.
Yeah, so we're definitely. No, definitely. I think so.
All right.
Definitely going to the moon. Buying Tesla.
Tesla.
Okay, I just made a joke about the Cybertruck. Like it got delayed. It really got delayed. It got delayed like heck. But that's coming. Maybe it gets pushed out this year. Trucks are big sellers, and while it's a polarizing view, they'll sell. They'll sell a lot of trucks, and then they've been steadily growing, infinite growing. 100,000 vehicles sold in 2017 to 2019, 360,000, and then 2020 it was almost 500,000. They missed it by like 500 vehicles. Which, by the way, is the number of vehicles Lucid was trying to build last year.
Ouch.
And then 2021, almost 1,936,000 vehicles. So I think this year they're going to do great. Probably over 1.3 million.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.4 million vehicles. Because they have Gigafactory Berlin and Gigafactory Austin coming online. So that's 2 additional factories in addition to the 2 that they have. So depending on how quickly they ramp it up, maybe they could even beat 1.3 million vehicles by a good margin, depending on how quickly they ramp this stuff up. And plus they have the Tesla semi-truck. So if they can get those 4680 batteries out, this is going to be the year.
Yeah.
They're going to be selling a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be a crazy year.
And then they have Autopilot, which has learned so much about driving in real world conditions in the past few months even.
Yeah.
To the point where I've seen videos of basically completely hands off. Like just people just kind of hovering. So Tesla is also going to the moon. Yeah, definitely a go. Because nobody else is making an electric semi-truck that's close to being all over the place. At least not that I'm aware of. I know Volvo is probably going to make one. And yeah, so these are my 2 buys, Polestar and Tesla. What do you think? Are we going to land on the moon this year?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds great.
Sounds great.
So let's do it.
Let's do it. Already done it, actually.
Already done it.
Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, comment below if you have any issues with what we said. I'll be happy to explain to you anything that we said. And we'll see you in the next video.